Welcome back to CLG.eu's live coverage of the Corsair Vengeance Cup. I'm Mattis, joined by Enzi, and you are joining us for the matchup between CLG Counterlogic Gaming EU facing off against MaseTV. If you just joined us, the first game did go fairly comfortably in the end to CLG.eu, but it wasn't exactly clear sailing from the start, Enzi. I mean, for around the first 20-25 minutes, it was very much even. At one stage, in fact, MaseTV were ahead on kills, so they really did make a go of it until that Baron, and after Baron, very much one-way traffic.
Yeah, Lee Sin got caught out, and I think Leona did as well, and another player, I can't really remember. And that just spelled the end for Maze in that game. They just got the Baron, CLG did, and boom, they finished it off. But it looks like there's not going to be any troll bans this time. They're actually going to be serious. Oh, maybe not. They got Fiddlesticks ban.
Fiddlesticks isn't necessarily a terrible champion, but he's definitely not one of the top tier champions that you expect to see banned out there. But you're going to see an Ari, Urgot, Anivia, Shaco, and of course we did say Fiddlesticks before, alongside a Cassidin. So it seems that maybe CLG are going to give MaseTV a tiny bit more credit than they did last time. If memory serves me correctly, Enzi, I think it was Evelyn, Xin Zhao and Fiddlesticks that they banned out, which was a bit of a head scratcher to say the least.
Yeah, they might just not want to play against the likes of Fiddlesticks, Shaco and Cassidin because maybe they want to pick a lineup and they're great counters for the lineup that they're going to pick. So maybe some serious bans coming out this time for CLG, but it looks like a Janna pick on the opposite side. Obviously they have got the first pick now, so they are going to take advantage, pick that Janna up. As we said last game in the Champ Select, Janna probably one of the most used supports that we've seen in CVC, and also just, you know, in ranked in general. Janna's normally picked on every single game, but it looks like an Annie pick is going to come out from Frog, and obviously was on Cassiopeia last game, played very well indeed. Did get caught out a couple times, but later on in the game, you know, he made up for that and he played a superb game.
Indeed, he did get caught out a fair few times, as you say, but at the end of the day the rest of his team was definitely driving him forward, and of course Cassiopeia in those team fights with Petrifying Gaze can really be the game changer, and we did see that a couple of times. Actually, I think it was Cassiopeia that bumped into Lee Sin first in that fight before Baron, and she just used Petrifying Gaze to take him down at the equation as soon as she possibly could. And perhaps you are actually going to see an Ezreal pick as well, coming in with the AD carry. Of course, Yellow Pete last game picked up the Cogmore, finished on 2 for 10 for 2, sorry, the other way around, nearly gave him absolutely no credit. Did a great job, and definitely took down those tanky characters of the likes of Leona, Lee Sin, and also Skarner. This time though, Ezreal, and as you said, now just waiting to see who comes along with that Janna pick.
Yeah, Ezreal quite skill shot dependent. Obviously it has quite a useful ultimate as well. So, you know, just guessing, he's going to be landing them skill shots. You know, he's at a level where he should be landing them more. So yeah, Ezreal, a great pick. Been seeing him playing more recently as well. But we're just going to have to see what Maze pick now. They have got the Janna, so they have a confirmed support. I can only guess they're going to be picking their jungle and maybe their AD carry now. Obviously they don't want to get counter picked with the likes of the mid pick and maybe the top, although they could go for the top lane, you never know. So we will just wait. 10 seconds left on the clock. Who are they going to pick? It's going to be interesting to see
Maokai and Ashe
from the last game. They have picked up the Maokai. Maokai obviously great for the early ganks coming in, and Ashe after that buff in that patch, quite strong AD carry as well. But yeah, Maokai, I love Maokai. Such a great ganker, such a great champion, and he's going to be doing some damage to that CLG team.
Indeed, we'll definitely expect to see Maokai being very, very active in the ganking role in the first few levels. I've seen a Blitzcrank being picked up here with Swipe, but I'm going to assume it's not going to be the case. Yes, they have switched over to a Karthus, and a Blitzcrank going to be picked up afterwards. Do you think they're actually going to go for Karthus jungle?
Karthus jungle is actually really good. Obviously he has the Wall of Pain. The champion I used to get out of Elo. Oh, come on, don't change, come on.
Cho'Gath now.
Oh god, I really wanted to see a Karthus jungle pick. Really, really did. I was actually playing with a Karthus jungle, I think yesterday. So good, really good. Obviously very blue dependent though, to spam away with the E and the Q. But yeah, it looks like a Morgana and a Lee Sin pick coming out on the Maze side. Morgana you regularly see banned in ranked solo queues and stuff, but in competitive games you don't really see her banned out too much. Obviously she is counterable, but she is very, very strong AP carry.
Indeed. Indeed, 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 and that will leave Wicked, who of course is the solo top player for CLG. So far you're going to have Annie, an Ezreal, a Cho'Gath, and a Blitzcrank, assuming Blitzcrank will be the support character there, with Ezreal taking the cleanse. Now I can only assume the cleanse is pretty much going to be directed towards the likes of Morgana and Maokai. Of course, Morgana, with her Soul Shackles and her Dark Binding, is absolutely horrific to face off against. If the player is decent, of course, you'd have to assume that MaseTV are going to have a very good Morgana here. In team fights, very, very strong. And of course, as well, on top of that, you can also cleanse out of Ash's Arrow, which is a great utility spell, and it really does set up those team fights. If you can try and pick off a straggler, and really just focus them down as soon as possible. The Ash Arrow can be one of the best spells in the entire game in that instance.
Yeah, the hard part about it though is just landing it. I think through CVC we've actually seen a lot of really, really good plays just coming out from that one Ash Arrow. I think it was TSM. We're playing Ash. KX was on Ash, and he was landing every single arrow and was just making plays left, right, and center. So yeah, but Cho'Gath, you don't normally see in the jungle, is very viable in the jungle actually. Obviously, he has that rupture and the silence as well. So on the CLG team, we have got Frogon with Annie, Yellow Pete with that Ezreal. Snoopy with the Cho'Gath, sorry, I'm trying to read off a little screen here. Scumbag with that Blitz, and Wicked on the Renekton. On the other side, if I can actually say these names, it's Nem. It's Nem, right?
Nemad, I guess.
Oh, Nemad on Janna. Dyke on Maokai. Bestie on Ash. Zyrex on Morgana, and Zalassus on Lee Sin. Sorry, I kind of sound like I'm dribbling. I haven't got the best quality on my screen, and I was kind of just like squinting. I was like,
Yeah, we see Renekton though. I do love me a bit of Renekton. Such a good character, and a very tanky lineup actually coming up from CLG here. Of course, Renekton can be built fairly tanky with his ultimate as well, very difficult to take down. Blitzcrank gets his shield, of course, with his mana shield, and can be very tanky. And Cho'Gath on top of that with his feasts, if he turns into the massive monster that we all know and love, then it's going to be very difficult actually for MaseTV to take these players down. Either way, we're currently in the delay as per usual. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, so we'll be back in about 2 minutes 30. You guys go get yourself a drink or something, and when you rejoin us, we will be live in the second game between CLG.eu and MaseTV. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back to MaseTV's live coverage here of Counterlogic Gaming against MaseTV in the Corsair Evidence Cup. I am Metas, joined by Enzi, and we are ready for game number 2, Enzi. And MaseTV simply have to win this. Of course, it is a best of 3. They lost the first game fairly comfortably in the end, so no more mistakes for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see as well if we see them level 1 fights kick off. We didn't see it last game. Both teams were quite passive, and they just let the good times roll. But it looks like maybe we're going to have a meeting between the two teams.
Indeed, we very well may do. All 10 players, well, actually 9 players, Jana's on her way. This could count against MaseTV here. A lot of damage coming in from Morgana, but that's going to be Maokai getting pulled in from Blitzcrank, has flashed through towards the Dragon Pit. Could we actually get in a situation here where nobody goes down? This would be incredible if Maokai manages to survive. Exhaust going to be used from Jana. Going to see the skeleton Cho'Gath coming up. Will land the rupture onto Maokai there. And great help there from the team, but Jana's been pulled in from Blitzcrank, and I think that's going to be a dead Jana. The heal has came in, but it's not going to make a difference. Oh dearie me, Jana. That did not need to happen. And after all that fine work from MaseTV and Maokai managing to escape, Jana goes and gets pulled, and it's all for nothing. First blood will go to Annie, and that's just going to make things even worse for Morgana in that mid, facing off against Annie with first blood.
Oh my god. Annie with first blood, not very good at all. I don't think she's going to go back though and maybe get Dorans or something. She's just going to stay and pull that blue buff. So Cho is going to start on the blue. Also guys, if you didn't realise, we're kind of in a difficult situation with the casting aspect. We haven't got the tournament client at the moment, so I'm actually watching the stream with you guys, and Metis is in the game. So if you hear him interrupt me or stuff like that, it isn't because he's being rude and stuff. It's because, you know, we can't both be in the game. It's impossible because obviously Bass has the best quality at the moment with the stream, so we want to, you know, provide the best quality possible. So apologies there.
Indeed. I hope that'll clear up some of the issues that some of you may be having at the moment. Cho'Gath's going to come in once again, lands a nice rupture onto Jana. Jana has actually opted to run back towards the jungle, purely on the basis that Blitzcrank and Ezreal were both chasing after her. Cho'Gath tries another rupture, but this pull is going to come in. I think Jana's going to go down once again. Ezreal also gets dropped though in the meantime from Ashe, so that was a 1-for-1 exchange, but Jana already on 0 for 2. And Ashe coming back with a kill of her own. The action at top is going to see Wicked taking that Renekton against Zalasus with Lee Sin. And I would have to say that Renekton is a very good counter pick towards Lee Sin there, Enzi. I mean, Renekton incredibly strong. But he's actually going to take a lot of damage here from Lee Sin. If Lee Sin lands this jump, he could actually finish off Renekton, but he's opted not to, because I think he was perhaps a tiny bit weary of Cull of the Meek, which of course does give lifesteal. In the meantime, you're going to see Morgana actually taking down Annie, so that early first blood that Annie did manage to pick up doesn't seem to be bothering Morgana a great deal after all. Maokai did go in for the gank though, so nice teamwork there from MaseTV. Showing there no pushovers, Enzi. I think a lot of people in this game, you know, coming into this game were thinking, look, CLG are going to win this one really, really comfortably, but MaseTV showing they're going to go down swinging here.
Yeah, and they could definitely win this game. I mean, I'm not going to put them past them. It's 2 for 2 right now, 300 gold difference. The team comps, I think it actually favours Maze. I mean, you got the Maokai in there, you got the Morgana as well. Obviously, you have the cleanse on Ezreal, but that isn't going to be enough. So maybe a quick Silver Slash going to come out for Annie, with the AP carry once again. We saw it on Casio last game with the likes of Leona and Skarner. So yeah, I actually think Maze might take this game. I just have a feeling.
Well, from the neutral kind of viewpoint, I'd hope that's the case, because I'd love to see another game of this CVC matchup. And so far, it's not looking too bad. Gold is about 300 in favour of CLG. The kills exactly the same. Annie is trying to come down towards Maokai. Cho'Gath is there as well. And of course, Cho is going to be jungling this time. For MaseTV, going to have Maokai jungling, as we said before, definitely going to be able to set those ganks up nicely. In bot lane, going to be Blitzcrank and Ezreal facing off against Jana and Ashe. Jana has already died 2 times, but I guess as a support character, doesn't necessarily matter a great deal. And it's all really down, Enzi, on whether Blitzcrank can land his grabs. If he can, that bot lane can get very messy very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly why, I mean, Ashe and Jana are quite passive right now. I mean, you've got Jana on 0 to 2. Nice breathing. And Blitz has the ability to just, you know, stay in that bush and try and pull away. So that's the reason Ash and Janna are kind of going defensive here. And they don't want to push too heavy because they're definitely scared of that pool. Because if Blitz, like you said, can land that pool, then it's basically a guaranteed kill maybe. Or even a flash burn, definitely.
And of course, as we said, for Ezreal's
Top.
top is going to be just fine, as Lee Sin's going to go back there.
Sorry.
But yeah, Ezreal, he's definitely skill shot dependent, of course, with the exception of, I guess you could say, his Arcane Shift, his third ability. The rest of his skills, you do need to actually land them for him to be effective. But if your Ezreal gets fed and gets very farmed, it's going to get nasty for the opposition. Having said that though, Ezreal could be getting took down here if he plays a bit too cocky, because you do have Maokai coming down for that gank. Janna basically just baiting in the bush, saying, look, just keep hitting me, actually try and push and kill me, and then Maokai's going to jump out that, use his Twisted Advance, and it's going to get nasty. And the marks actually have came in there from CLG, so they seem to know exactly what Maokai's trick is right now. I think Ezreal should be just fine. Blitzcrank is coming down in the meantime. Is he going to try a pull onto the bush? Looks like he's setting up for it. In fact, instead he's going to go ahead and ward down on the bush and realise, oh, no one's there anymore, because Maokai's starting to push towards the mid lane. But Annie back at a tower, so nothing is going to happen. Just going to keep on the farming. Let's have a quick look at the CS difference here. Bot lane, it's going to be Ezreal with 30 creep score. Ash coming in with 43. So she has a fairly big advantage there early on in this game. Mid is going to be 36 to Morgana, facing off against 35 for Annie. So very, very even. And at top lane, Lee Sin is going to be picking himself up 44 creep score and Renekton on 35.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. I mean, Annie, you know, she can last hit with Q our minions, and obviously it takes no mana away, so she should be able to do that. She builds 5 stacks. I think it's 5 or 4 stacks. I think it's 5. I haven't played her in quite a while, and you know, the next ability does hit a stun. So Morgana is going to be winning the battle of the CS in mid. Obviously, you can just spam that soil down if she needs as well. Top. Lee Sin has kind of been pushing this one very heavy. I'd say, you know, go chill a bit, let Renekton push you a bit, let Maokai go up, try do some work. Renekton hasn't actually got a ward down at top. I don't even think he's gone back yet. Well, yeah, he has got a ward in his backpack, but the lane's been pushed for so long, he hasn't even been able to put that ward down.
Yeah, as you mentioned about Annie, Pyromania, every 5 spells, as you say, she gets a stun. But here comes Maokai. This is a gank on the cards for sure. Onto Renekton, he does it for his ultimate. Is he going to pop it? Yes, he will, but Ignite has been put down on him. He has used Call of the Meek. I think he could potentially escape this one. And indeed he will. Must be so frustrating for both Maokai and Lee Sin. Maokai's taking an absolute pasting from that tower, and the Ignite's going to come down onto him. Will he get dropped from this? The answer is a no. But only just, as I think Lee Sin actually popped his safeguard onto Maokai there, saving his bacon and then some. And Maokai also popped himself a health pot in amongst all of the action. I thought for a second we were going to see Annie going head to head with Morgana in the jungle there, but it looks like they're both going to pull back. And all back to the farming kind of phase here, Enzi. Nothing really going on. The only thing of note right now is Cho'Gath has slowly and sneakily made his way into those top bushes, so there could potentially be a gank on for Lee Sin, but the lane is actually getting pushed fairly heavily from Renekton, so Cho'Gath is going to by and large be fairly useless. He's going to have to be very, very patient. In fact, instead he's opting to just push down that lane. They're perhaps going to go for a tower dive here onto Lee Sin. Not sure about that decision at all. And Renekton and Cho'Gath both going to be trying their best to take down this Lee Sin, but Lee Sin is comfortably going to live. And both Renekton and Cho'Gath taking an absolute hammering. So as I said before, not entirely sure about that decision there. I like the aggression and the intent, but the execution not quite so good. And Lee Sin very difficult to actually staple down. Of course, he can jump in between his own minions, and also he can jump onto you. And with that dragon kick that he also still had up, he could have kicked them back as well, Enzi. So I don't think they ever had a chance of actually successfully ganking him under that tower.
Yeah, and a beautiful flash from Blitzcrank to actually get away from that Ash arrow at bot lane. We did just see that on camera. That was very, very nicely played out from Blitz. Unlucky though from the likes of Ash. Maokai was down there as well, just in case. Nearly landed the snare, but was just out of range as Blitzcrank will go back.
Absolutely, and looks like this is going to be a fairly comfortable dragon coming out from MaseTV. You're not going to see Cho'Gath and Annie pushing in. Dragon less than half health though. And this has turned out to be a 4 versus 3. Going to be a 4 versus 4 any second now. Israel has popped off that ultimate. Now going to see an engage coming in from Morgana, and he has dropped down Maokai. Morgana has landed a nice soul shackle onto 3 or 4 players, but she's not going to pick up any kills there. And suddenly 3 kills come out for CLG. A real cataclysmic failure there on Dragon, coming up from Maze, losing 3 players without replying. And suddenly the goal difference jumping up to 2k. They could have picked up Dragon as well if they so choose to do so, but it seems instead they are going to pull back. But yeah, a bit of a head scratcher that one, NZ, but a nice kind of team play coming out from CLG. Ezreal actually landed his ultimate on pretty much everybody. They all lined up for him.
Yeah, now look at that. Annie on 4 kills to 1. This is like deja vu again, but with Annie, not Cogmore. Annie is going to be scary, scary, scary stuff. Ezra Nexon is just going to get that farm up top, and they're just going to bash away at each other.
Absolutely, and of course Annie with a global stunner, she can manage to land with a Tibbers, for example. In those kind of team fights, in the claustrophobic team fights, she really does excel. A lot of people I notice in chat saying, oh, you know, Annie's quite an odd pick, you don't often see her in ranked. Well, this is why, this is just why. In those kind of team fights, you really do want Annie with that Tibbers, just to completely decimate the opposition team. And as you said before, Annie currently on 4 for 1, looking good. Lee Sin has 8. And Ignite up at top lane, but Renekton on very low health. Here comes Cho'Gath though. Can they pull off this kill? It's going to be down to Lee Sin's juking capabilities here. They are just waiting for one another to make a move. Lee Sin going to make that move right now. Is Cho'Gath going to land the rupture? Yes, he will. Lee Sin jumps back though onto the tower and gets absolutely crippled from Renekton and Cho'Gath. But to be fair to Lee Sin, I didn't see his chances being very good. In the meantime, and he will take down Maokai down at Dragon. And you can see action on both sides of the map. CLG did manage to get the upper hand in both of those team fights there, and they're currently 7-2 ahead and 3.4 gold ahead, K-gold sorry ahead, with Dragon still up. They haven't actually gone for that Dragon yet, Enzy, which I'm a bit perplexed by.
Yeah, CLG don't really need to go for the Dragon right now. If Mages go towards that Dragon, CLG can just get an easy few kills. So I think that's what CLG are kind of trying to do here, is just trying to make them go towards Dragon, try and win some more kills, and then they'll be on their way to victory. But early on in this game I thought, you know, Maze that have got a very strong lineup, but just looking after that team fight, just CLG, they might not have the greatest composition, but you know, they just make it work.
Well, they're very AoE dependent. I mean, if you look at their team right now, Cho'Gath has his Rupture, you've got Ezreal with his ultimate, Blitzcrank has his ultimate as well, Annie's Tibbers, and then Renekton coming in with just his raw damage output, Call of the Meek, and of course his ultimate as well. Dominus, you know, he's just very, very strong. And in this lineup, looking incredibly strong on top of that, you know, and on the opposition, not really looking too good right now for MaseTV. They needed a much better start than this. 2-7 down, maybe going to try a gank on Renekton. That's exactly what's going to happen here, as Maokai will jump on top of him. Dragon Rage has been used, knocking Renekton back, but you can see just how tanky Renekton is with that ultimate on. Even with 2 players absolutely pummeling him, he will manage to pull back to that tower and stay alive. So the ganking right now for Maokai isn't looking too good, Enzy. Every time he goes top, Renekton pretty comfortably gets back to his tower, and it seems that, you know, Maokai's usefulness at the moment as it stands is kind of starting to wear thin.
Yeah, exactly what you said. Renekton was a great pick. Obviously has that sustain, and the ganks ain't very useful, you know, coming out from Maokai at the moment, and the later this game goes, you know, the more useless he's going to become. Well, he's not useless, but I mean, Maokai is definitely early game dependent. If he can land them ganks, then he can literally win the game by himself. But you know, just going to have to see. As an arrow actually misses Annie by literally an inch.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you're saying. His early game is all about getting other people kills. It's about getting those assists, really ganking, and making that snowball start rolling down the hill. The unfortunate thing about Maokai now, he's on 0 for 2 with 1 assist, and he's not necessarily got the greatest of builds. I mean, he's got the Heart of Gold, he's got the Philo Stone, but apart from that, pretty much nothing. And although his Vengeful Maelstrom will continue to be useful, and of course his Twisted Advance, you would like to see him getting involved more in the action and getting more kills, but of course that's purely down to the basis that CLG right now have just been engaging at the right times and winning those team fights. And of course that Dragon, I think the score was 2 for 2 ends when that Dragon fight kicked off. And once again, one small instance, and suddenly CLG way ahead, and he will be taking down Morgana in mid as I'm talking that. Did have to whip out the Tibbers, and she's now going to pull back with that blue buff. So looking good for CLG. Not entirely sure if MaseTV can pull themselves back into this game. They're currently one game behind, remember guys, if you have just joined us. CLG won the first one, so this is a must-win game for MaseTV. If they don't, they'll be out the tournament.
Yeah, and Annie on 6-1 already nearly got... She's probably got enough for the Rabadons now. Got to go back soon, but she has got the blues, so maybe she just wants to make the most of that. Maybe going towards Dragon, or maybe just going for the jungle invade. But yeah, she's nearly got Rabadons. Going to be interesting to see what she builds after that. So Annie looking very strong indeed. Blitzcrank was waiting around the bushes looking for a pull. Maybe going to get a pull. Not completely sure, but they are just going to bang away on the towers as a ping comes out.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the difference in items right now between Renekton and Lee Sin, Renekton's picked up the Bloodthirster, and then he's going to get another kill in mid. But yeah, Renekton has the Bloodthirster and the boots, and then you've got Lee Sin with 3 Doran's blades and cloth armor, so a fairly big difference. Of course, Bloodthirster getting a kind of buff depending on how you look at it. You only lose half your stacks now if you die, whereas it used to be full stacks. But of course, life deal as a whole did get a minor nerf. So Bloodthirster this early on is going to be very dangerous in the hands of Renekton, as he has basically free farm at top. Obviously Lee Sin every now and again is going to jump in, as he's about to do right now, so you're going to have a quick confrontation between these two. Renekton has popped his ultimate. Lee Sin instantly turns around and runs back to his tower, does not want to engage against Renekton with ultimate on. Can't say I blame him, so yes, he will be going back. Renekton in the meantime is going to be pushing down towards the opposition jungle, actually, maybe trying to catch out Maokai here. He's gone down towards the Wolves. He is going to catch a glimpse of Maokai and now pull back. He realizes that Morgana's still in mid, so he doesn't want to be too aggressive, because Lee Sin could always come down as well, and suddenly it's a 3 versus 1, and Annie is going to go and ward in the jungle of MaseTV, so they want as much coverage as possible. In fact, the ward coverage right now from CLG is pretty damn awesome. The only place they don't have a ward is on that Dragon, but they don't really need it, to be entirely honest, as you're going to see the kill coming in from Ezreal looking for his double onto Janna. Look at that damage there from Ezreal, very nearly picking up the kill onto Janna. It's just all CLG's way right now, NZ, and I can't see how MaseTV are going to come back into this game. They're just getting outclassed in every single area.
Yeah, we saw in a team comp, not team comp, a team fight, really worked for CLG. Annie's on 7-1, already with Rabadon's, double Doran's, got the Sorcerer's boots as well. I kind of think it's over right now. I don't see how Maze are going to get back into this game, just like you. I kind of think it's over.
Indeed, there's just so much burst potential here from CLG. I mean, you've got Annie, who's... Let's have a look at her items right now. She's got the Rabadon, she's got the Sorcerer's shoes, she's currently on 278 ability power after 18 minutes. That is pretty damn tasty. 7 for 1 overall, with 1 assist coming in as well. So her burst damage for this stage of the game is absolutely ridiculous. And when you put into account that, you know, her opposition aren't exactly farmed too well themselves. I mean, look at Cho'Gath. He doesn't care that there's a tower right in mid. He's just going to walk right past it like a boss. And he only takes about a quarter of his health damage. Here comes Maokai potentially. No, just throws a sapling over. Doesn't seem to care too much about this. But yeah, I mean, when you've got Cho'Gath like this, and you've got an Annie with the kind of damage she's outputting, and then you've also got an Ezreal, and he's kind of been in the shadows recently because of obviously the Annie and also Cho'Gath just going around everywhere. I mean, Ezreal has picked up the Bloodthirster of his own, so he is very much putting out a lot of damage. On top of that, Yellow Pete, second game in a row, is going to be dishing out all kinds of punishment. Cho'Gath once again just trolling around mid, taking tower hits, and just really doesn't care about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want Maze to get back into this game, but I don't see how now. I mean, you got Cho with his stacks built up right now, so tanky, he's just tanking the turret. Lee Sin did just go down from Renekton. Yeah, I just think after that it's just kind of GG now. I think top turret's going to go down. Maybe they'll, you know, go for the Dragon, but it's not really needed for CLG. It's more needed for Maze right now.
Yeah, you got like a 6.6k goal difference. There's going to be a big team fight kicking off, and look at that Annie damage. Oh my god. Both Janna and Ashe getting completely completely exploded, just vaporized there from Annie, from Tibbers. And of course also her Incinerate. Incredible damage there. She did go back and build up the Blasting Wand actually, so she's even stronger than before. And you can see, Enzi, there's really no hope for MaseTV. I mean, perhaps if they win 2 or 3 team fights in a row somehow, then maybe they can pull their way back in. But I really can't see it happening. When you've got Cho'Gath, who's currently on 2,500 HP, Ezreal's very much putting a lot of damage out. Renekton is not only tanky but very damage dependent as well. As I'm saying that though, Lee Sin and Maokai are going to pick him up at top lane. So never mind me saying that. And Annie says Lee Sin OP. When you've seen Annie's damage, that's a bit ironic coming from her.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit of a troll. Wicked did definitely overextend there and paid the price. Maokai came in, Lee Sin got the kill, and that was it. But yeah, I think it's over for Maze. The burst damage from Annie is just too strong right now. So yeah, I think it's GG.
But having said that though, I mean, Annie had come in hot confrontation from Morgana and thinks she actually may be going down here. Annie, yes she will. She gets ganked from 3 players. Maokai snaring on Lee Sin as well. Actually will pick up the kill, and Morgana popped to Soul Shackle. Cho'Gath's now going to come under heavy attack, but he is supremely tanky. Having said that though, they're going to go straight for the Blitzcrank. Do take down Blitzcrank. Now going to snare onto Ezreal. Uses his cleanse to get out of the Dark Binding, but he will fall as well. So perhaps, Enzi, there is still another chapter to be written in this matchup. It's now back to 6-14. By no means is this a close game, but MaseTV just came back and picked up 2 or 3 kills without reply. Make that 4 kills, in fact, onto Cho'Gath as well, who I can only assume is just trolling around, because he's just kind of chilling out in mid lane while 3 players rush towards him. And now Renekton's going to try and pick up that kill to Lee Sin. This is going to give MaseTV the opportunity to pick up the dragon, and they are going to take that and clench that with both fists. So they are slowly but surely making their way back into this game. This would be one of the best comebacks I've ever seen if MaseTV do this one. It would be incredible.
Yeah, I think CLG just getting caught out there, but I think the main factor of like the turnout of this game is going to be the team fights, and you know, maybe they can catch them out. But are they able to kill them all in a team fight? That's the whole difference. When all the teams there 5v5 face off, man to man. I don't know. Maze, they are slowly getting back into this game. If they can do that again, then I definitely think they can win this. But that was just, you know, a sign of life. They got lucky. They caught CLG out. I think CLG after that are going to be saying to each other, "Okay, guys, let's focus now. Let's just get this over and done with," because they don't want to throw the game.
I mean, I'm pretty sure CLG trolling, because that dragon was up for so long and CLG were in the driver's seat for so long and they didn't pick it up, and it would have been such an easy one for them to get, so I can only assume they're trolling. My only concern for them though is if they give MaseTV too much of a chance. As I'm saying that though, let's cut to the action here as Annie's dropped Tibbers on 3 players, very nearly gets a triple kill, but she is going to go down from Morgana, but in the meantime she actually will finish off Maokai in amongst all of that. Ezreal goes back onto Janna, so that was actually a 2-for-1 exchange, just Annie dropping from CLG, but that's pretty much 80% of their damage, if not more. So a lot of damage coming out, but Renekton and Ezreal are going to start to come in here. Blitzcrank has landed the pull and the Power Fist as well. That's going to be 2 kills actually coming out from MaseTV. Again, I'm pretty sure CLG are trolling here, but they need to be careful, because if they give MaseTV too much of an opportunity to get back into this game, I'm fairly sure they will do just that. Here comes the Rupture though, and the Feast as well. Onto Lee Sin, has also eaten Ignite. There he goes down from Cho'Gath, and now Morgana has to pull back to that tower. 10 for 17. And again, Enzi, hope CLG don't completely underestimate MaseTV here, because it could be quite embarrassing if they lose this game.
If they do lose this game, I'm gonna laugh. But yeah, again, Blitzcrank was just trolling around in the jungle, got caught out, and he was forced to help. And then I can't remember who it was. I think Cho'Gath was coming in for the support as well. But yeah, got caught out. They were 4v2 in that situation, and again, they were gifted 2 kills. And there's only a 6k gold difference right now. So Maze, they can get back into this game. So I feel very stupid now, and I have to apologise for saying that Maze is completely down and out, because they are showing signs of life right now. If they could do more stuff like that, then yeah, definitely they can get back into this game, just like you said.
To be fair though, they are making their way back into this game, but it's not really from their own doing. Yeah, I mean they have picked up the kills where they've been available, but CLG have just, I don't even understand what's been going on with them. They've been doing really questionable kind of engages next to towers and such, getting caught out time and time again. And I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still going to win this one, but they have just given a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for MaseTV. In the meantime, Ash is going to eat a Tibbers, and she's going to go down very, very comfortably at bot lane from Annie, who moves 10-3. She has that Rabadon's Death Cap and the Void Staff as well, so currently residing on 369 ability power, but a beautiful Dark Binding coming in from Morgana, and a comfortable kill in the end. I think Morgana may have popped Soul Shackle as well, just to make sure Annie went down. Indeed, she did. In my opinion, that was a bit of an overkill there. Annie was dead regardless. But either way, they are going to pull back now. 11-18 the scoreline, and about 6.5k gold coming in here for advantage of CLG. It's not quite over yet, NZ.
Yeah, it's definitely not over yet. You know, they keep getting Annie down. Of course, Annie did just get another kill. She has got a needlessly large rod as well as a Rabadon's voice, so she's going to be very scary. But I think Blitz might get caught out here, but the Janitor will save herself.
Indeed, Lee is going to Ezreal, and Blitzcrank managing to escape on little health. That top lane going to be Ash facing off against Renekton. Renekton has gone back to pick up Spirit Visage, which of course is a great item for Renekton with Colour of the Meek. He has jumped in there. I think he even burst his flash. Indeed he did. Onto Ash there. But Ash just pulling back to a tower. Renekton having to retreat. So not much action is going to happen after all. But let's have a look at some of these items. We've been focusing a lot on Annie. Let's have a look elsewhere. Ezreal has got Bloodthirster, Sheen and Zeal. Probably going to be going towards Trinity Force, as many Ezreals will. You're going to have Cho'Gath with the Wit's End, Frozen Heart, and the gold potent items, Heart of Gold and Philos Stone. Blitz coming in with Shirai's Reverie and Heart of Gold, and finally Renekton with Hex Drinker, the Bloodthirster and Spirit Visage. So at CLG, pretty much all of their team are looking pretty damn tasty right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Maze just kind of needs to keep it up. They're kind of turtling right now and just catching them off guard. I think it's going to come down to Baron though. I think there's going to be a fight at Baron, and that's really going to determine who's going to win. It's going to be interesting to see if one of them MaseTV guys actually get caught out once again like last game, and to lose them the game right there, you know, change the game up. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, and it looks like CLG are going
Baron.
towards Baron.
Indeed they are. There are two wards down in that bush, so both teams know exactly where one another are, but Baron is still going down in amongst all of this. MaseTV haven't quite... Okay, they have now committed to this team fight. Blitz has been focused first of all, probably not the greatest of ideas. Now going to switch it up onto the likes of Renekton and Cho'Gath, and he pops down Tibbers, and everybody disappears for MaseTV. Goodbye, good night, that is the GG. And Annie, oh my god, moves to 12-4-6. Huge play from Annie, just literally landing Tibbers and incinerating everybody, and their health just vaporizes in an instant. Probably going to push for the win now, even though the MaseTV have to wait about 30 or so seconds. You're going to see Janna and Maokai coming up in within about 15 seconds, so they can probably get an inhib down here, then pull back to pick up the Baron if they so decide. But yes, Enzi, I mean, I totally agree. That Baron fight, very, very important. Had MaseTV been able to pick that one up somehow, it would have been looking good for them to actually bring themselves back and even. But as it stands, not to be the case. And in fact, CLG aren't going to try and take down Baron or the inhib. They're just going to recall and buy up.
Yeah, exactly what I said. I mean, you can catch them off all you want, but in a team fight, that's where it's really going to come down to. That's where you're going to win or lose. And on that occasion, Annie kind of won CLG that one then. You know, Tibbers went down, like you said, and it was a GG right there. With the 5 going down, not even one player falling for CLG, and surprisingly they didn't even go back to Baron to try and finish it off. They did just go for the safe option, something we didn't see last game. They stayed in the base for about 5 minutes, the dust, but they are going to go for the safe route. They are actually, no, not CLG, Maze are actually going to be getting this dragon now, so that's going to give them a bit of gold, but I don't think it's really going to be enough. Another team fight was just won, and Annie on 12-4 is going to have a full build soon, and it's not going to be nice. And already got Zonias as well, so Zonias and a Rabadon's not good at all.
Yeah, Hourglass built up along with Rabadon's. Looks like we are going to see a Baron being taken from CLG now. And if you have a look at MaseTV's positioning, they're not even going to get close to this by the time that Baron is gone. And a really quite odd arrow coming in from Ashe there. I don't know if you saw that, but I think she tried to hit Renekton and it missed by a country mile. In the meantime, Baron has gone down from CLG, so they're going to be even stronger. Annie coming in, landing that burst damage onto Maokai. And she did pop off Fireball. Now going to just try and pick up this blue buff. And really, MaseTV, they're going to have to turtle in like complete badasses here, otherwise they're out of this game. I can't see them actually picking this up, even if they turtle in and manage to defend for the next 15-20 minutes and pick up some farm. CLG are always going to be ahead here. It's their game to lose, basically. And you are now going to see MaseTV all congregating around this same tower. Cho'Gath will flash through there. I don't know if you actually wanted to try a kill or just scare the living crap out of MaseTV. Blitzcrank's going to try the grab through the wall. Doesn't land anything. And Jenna saying, nice flash there. That must have been fairly scary, just seeing like a massive skeleton Cho'Gath appearing through the wall. But either way, MaseTV now going to push back towards the mid. Back to farming again, as it seems that CLG are reluctant to actually finish this game.
I think CLG... I don't know what CLG are doing. I don't know if they're just messing about or what, having a bit of fun in TS, but they can easily finish this game. I mean, they got Baron, they've got all their ultimates up, I believe, so I don't see the problem with just trying to finish it. But they will go back. They are going to buy. It looks like Annie is going to go for the Hex Tech, probably going to go for the Will of the Ancients late on, and they are just going to push.
Yeah, going to be pushing this mid. All 5 players in the conga line of death and destruction are probably going to try and take the game now. I would have to feel Cho'Gath's going to sprint right in there. Gets hit by Howling Gale though, so it's going to put his onslaught in its tracks for now. And they're now going to take down this inhib tower. Comfortably going to do so as well. Although it looks like they're now deciding to actually try and get some more kills instead. Nice pull there from Blitz. Ashe will arrow back onto him though. Maokai ultimate as well. Just all hell breaks loose. Morgana actually did land Soul Shackle onto a couple of players. Ezreal's going to get the double kill, get the triple kill as well. And he's going to try and probably pick up the Quadra. But instead, Lee Sin probably going to manage to escape. Or will he? As Annie comes in with the absolutely crushes him once again. Tivers has been used as well, and Cho'Gath gets killed from the tower, but it's not going to make any difference whatsoever. 28-14. Nexus towers are now vulnerable and going to go down relatively quick when you have fed Ezreal with Trinity Force and Bloodthirst just nuking them down. That is pretty much the GGNZ. So CLG taking it comfortably in the end, 2-0.
Yep. Great second game for CLG as well, although they did look a bit sloppy in the mid game. Maze was able to pick up a few kills, you know, getting us a bit excited. Can Maze bring this one back? But no, wasn't going to happen. CLG will get game number 2. They already got game number 1, so they are going to advance through to the next round of the playoffs. It's a great game from CLG and MaseTV actually, and yeah.